What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm giving you more lore on the universe of Warhammer 40k. This time will be a little bit different because one of you guys requested that we do a particular battle. Now, this battle per se doesn't really have too much lore behind it, so it's going to be a shorter video, but nonetheless, it is a very interesting battle. It is the Space Wolves versus the World Eaters. Now, there's a lot of cool lore behind it, like as to what made it, actually happen. So here goes the lore on the Night of the Wolf. The Night of the Wolf is a little-known incident that occurred shortly after the massacre of the entire planetary population of the world of Gaina by the World Eater Legion during the Great Crusade in the late 30th millennium. The Primarch Leman Russ had been charged by the Emperor himself to take his Space Wolves to Gaina and bring the World Eaters to heel. The two legions met at Malkoya on the fields beyond the dead Genin city of the same name. The Primarchs stood before one another, armed and armored. Angron was awash with blood and carved up by fresh wounds. However, Leman Russ still had his battle-plate armor of the color of the storms of his homeworld of Fenris. In these early years of the Great Crusade, Angron still carried his first axe, the precursor to all others. He called it Widowmaker. However, on this day it would break, never to be used again. Leman Russ carried with him Kraken Maul, his immense chainsword, toothed by some Fenrisian sea devil from the blighted world's many myths. Angron refused to recognize his brother's authority and warned the Wolf King to depart before the situation became something that they would regret. But Russ refused to be cowered by the warlike Primarch. He informed Angron that the Imperial surgeries must end, for the Emperor himself deemed it so. The massacres of newly discovered human worlds were to end with the fall of Gaina. The World Eaters were to submit to the Space Wolves as their escorts for their legion's return to Terra. And once they reached the Imperial Palace, everything would be done to remove the parasitic Butcher's Nails implants from the World Eaters' minds. Angron, however, was not amused by Russ's threats. No one ever saw who fired the first shot. In the decades after, the World Eaters claimed it came from the Space Wolves, and the Space Wolves claimed that it came from the World Eaters. Without either Primarch giving an order, the two legions fought one another. This became known as the Night of the Wolf, while Imperial archives referred to it as the Gaina Scouring, omitting the moment the World Eaters and the Space Wolves drew blood. This battle was a source of pride for both legions and also a source of secret shame. Both claimed victory, but they both also feared that they had actually lost, for in truth, this battle proved bloody but inconclusive. The World Eaters did not return to Terra, and Angron refused to stop the implantation of the Butcher's Nails into his Astartes' brains. After the Night of the Wolf, Angron ordered his tech marines to continue the use of the Butcher's Nails until nearly every World Eater Space Marine had undergone this surgery. Blood rites and blood drinking became increasingly important to the part of the World Eaters' legionary rituals and customs as they continued on their slaughter and ways across the galaxy. It soon became common practice for World Eaters to compete in a number of skulls that they could take in battle. For some World Eater Space Marines, the result was an uncontrollable thirst for slaughter, even away from the battlefield. However, the results produced by the World Eaters on the front lines were so effective that the Imperium, and even the Emperor, proved willing to turn a blind eye to the World Eaters' savage practices. This would prove to be a terrible miscalculation, as the World Eaters were already falling under the sway of the Blood God Khorne, and they would prove a ready ally for the War Master Horus once he began his great betrayal of the Imperium. And now for a summary on the Night of the Wolf. The attackers were the Space Wolves, the defender, the World Eaters, the attacking commander, Leman Russ, the defending commander, Angron. The scale was planetary, the theater was Gaina. The casualties were unknown for both sides. The status remained a stalemate, and the outcome was that both sides were left battered. The World Eaters did continue their illegal use of the Butcher's Nails, and Leman Russ simply left back to the Imperium. And there you have it, guys. This was a quick retelling, or lore I guess, of the Night of the Wolf. Let me know what you guys thought about this little battle. In your opinion, if this battle kept on going, who would come out on top? Because they're both legions that focus on close combat, but I feel like the Butcher's Nails tipped the scales slightly in Angron and his World Eater's favor. Again, let me know who do you think would win, and that's all I've got for you guys. Don't forget to check out the Patreon page, the Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram for more epic 40k content. As always, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I am signing out.